Good morning, everybody. Hi, Arlette. Hi, Christine. Hi, Rhonda. How is everyone? Missed you guys last week, so I'm glad to be back. I switched up my camera setup a little bit, so hopefully everything's working correctly today. We shall see, right? I have a fun, different way to use something that you guys may have at home. So we're going to be doing that. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Charlene Madrid, and I am here on the design team with Picket Fence Studios, and I am hearing dinging. I don't know why. Gotta love technology. And hi, Pat. I'm on the design team here. I go live on most Tuesdays at 12 o'clock Central on the Picket Fence Studios YouTube channel, and I make something with the newest release. So I'm going to switch you guys down here to my desk. All right. Okay, let me get my keyboard out of the way here. Oh, look, there's a piece of cardstock. I'm gonna see here real quick. Oop, nope, just kidding. That's not what I wanted to do. I was gonna try and zoom this in a little. There we go. Okay. Now you can see my pretty face up in the corner. Let's see, what are we doing? Oh, all right, guys. Let me grab my stuff. So let me show you what we're going to be working with today. Today we're going to use the Beauty Found in a Vase stamps and dies. These are really pretty. You have this lovely bouquet in a vase, and so you could color this like glass, or you could color it all in and mask those stems so it looks like a solid vase. Whatever works well. And you have all these beautiful sentiments that go along with it. So we're going to start by stamping this out. I don't know if I put up your comment, Pat. I think that's... Oh, hi, Heather. I had it scrolled down. Let's put Pat's comment up here. I think it's lovely. It is a beautiful day here near Seattle. It is slightly overcast, but it's not pouring rain, and I will take that. It was pretty rainy the other day. Just kind of poured rain. Stamp. Yay, we have a stamp. I'm doing well. So we're going to be doing some mixed media-ish type things here. I'm going to use a piece of paper. This is from scrapbook.com. This is the mixed media paper pad, and I have been using this lately and really, really liking it. Now, this paper is thick. It does not play around. 400 GSM, it says, but it's super smooth. You can watercolor on it. You can do all kinds of different stuff, paint, whatever. So this I have really been liking quite a bit. So I'm going to stamp on this. We're going to stamp and heat emboss. So let's get this picked up. How is everyone today? It's been as you guys know, I didn't go live last Tuesday. We've had a lot going on in our world. So we decided to wait and skip last week, and but now we're back, right? And I hope everyone has their crafty juices going. So we've got some black hybrid ink here. Ooh. And let's grab some anti-static powder, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp with the black hybrid ink, and then I'm going to heat emboss with some clear embossing powder over the top, because we're going to be doing, like I said, some water-based techniques. Now, I do not recommend, if you're going to do water-based techniques, I don't recommend stamping with a water-based dye ink and then heat embossing, because even though you've sort of sealed in the ink, as soon as you put any water down on your paper, it's going to soak into the fibers, and that dye ink that has, the water-based dye ink that has soaked down underneath the fibers where the heat or the embossing, melted embossing powder is, it's going to leach out. So then you'll get streaky, black, yucky. So I recommend something like a pigment ink, or the black hybrid ink that I'm using is awesome because you can use this for water-based and alcohol-based techniques. So it is a workhorse ink in my craft room. Make sure to get this nice and stamped. It's kind of hard getting back into the groove after not going live in a little while. This morning I was trying to make sure I had everything set up, and I was running around and doing other stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's a lot I have to do before I go live. Hey Vicky, hi Beverly. Okay, I think we are good and stamped. I really wanted to ink that up because, like I said, we're gonna do clear embossing powder over the top. So I'm gonna learn how to talk. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out, and we're gonna just put some clear embossing powder over the whole top. Whatever clear embossing powder you have. I don't really have a preference when it comes to clear embossing powder. I do have some preferences for white and black, but not clear. Most of the clear embossing powders I've used, I find, work pretty similarly. Now, this does not have to be perfectly embossed, because really all I'm trying to do for, you'll see when we move on to the next step, is I'm just trying to sort of create little spots where our water-based medium can kind of pool and gather rather than just run off our paper. So take this away, swipe away any of that yucky embossing powder because I cannot stand the way embossing powder feels. And then we're going to heat up our heat tool. Let's see. Vicki, what did you say? Do I have the My Sweet Petunia glue press? I do. The precision glue press is awesome, and I pretty much use it exclusively. But I change out the inks, or the inks. Y'all, I need more coffee. I change out the glue that I put in it. So I got my heat tool nice and hot. Just gonna run it along until I see that black ink start popping again, and then I move along. Isn't this a pretty image? I always love a nice floral bouquet. Make sure I got everything. It all looks nice and shiny. Yeah. Let's see. So here we go. Are you talking about this little, you can kind of see how it's sitting in there. It's not perfect. I don't know if you can see. It's not, doesn't sit in there like perfectly, but it kind of bounces off to the side or whatever. What I found is that a little bit of glue will kind of seep out and help to seal it. And then I'll just kind of pull that off of there. But you can see how messy that is in there. That's because I just kind of like chuck it in there all the time. But like right now, I have, what do I have in here right now? Probably Connect glue. Yeah. So I get the bottles and then I just peel off the label and I label them myself. Because I use lots of different glues for lots of different things. Let's set this out of the way now. Also, the nozzle you use really makes a difference with the type of glue. Oh, Vicky, you don't have the little pink part. Oh, yeah, definitely reach out to them because you should have that little pink part. It's like a little squishy kind of like plastic silicone-y piece that tip rests on. That's what keeps it sealed. So definitely reach out to them. All right, guys. You can see the splat box is coming out. Isn't this exciting? I think I'm mirrored bothering me. I'm gonna have to, and my bangs are bothering me today. All these things are bothering me. Let's see, how do I mirror? Oh, it doesn't matter. You guys don't want to see me messing around with settings. I'll do it later when I'm not live. How about that? So I always like to put a paper towel in my splat box. You can use any cardboard box, but I'm bougie and have a fancy box that's just for my mixed media work. So I always put a paper towel in there because that helps to soak up any of the excess spray or whatever it is I'm using. And we are going to use, look at what we're using. So we are using paper splatter today. Yay! So I've got a rainbow going on here. I have got Pink Blossom, Liquid Fire Orange, Liquid Yellow Sunshine. Where's my green? Oh, Liquid Forest Green and Turquoise Blue. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of these because some of these are going to combine together. Like the yellow, I really could just use pink, yellow, and blue, right? Our primaries, because they're going to blend. But I have all of these. And this month, during the month of November, if you, hey, Makeup by Marco, nice to see you here. This month, if you buy a paper splatter for the month of November, you get one of these. I'll show you an empty one. Cool little mini misters. And it comes with a lid. I don't know, it must have come off in the package. So little mini mister. You use these for all kinds of things, but the intended use, the reason why Picket Fence is giving out a free one with each paper splatter is you can make your own fun paper splatter sprays, y'all. Yes, look at this. So cool, right? So I've already taken all of my paper splatters and I have made my own little lovely sprays. Now, you can make those as concentrated or as diluted as you want. I'm going to show you one quick example of how I would make one. So I'd get my little sprayer, my empty one. Let's make a new color that I haven't made yet. Let's make, what do we want to make? Maybe some kiwi lime. So you're going to shake up your paper splatter really well. And if you have arthritis or you struggle with shaking things, I saw that Tim Holtz uses a nail polish shaker, and I believe Ranger has started selling them now on their website. And you can like strap it in and it shakes it up so you don't have to do it. But brilliant when I saw that. So we shake it up till we get all that lovely mica in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, I did not squeeze this out before I closed it up. I recommend always squeezing out your dropper before you close it up. Of course, now I have to clean this dropper. Darn it. Well, I was going to show you with kiwi green, but that sadly is not going to happen. It's really simple though, guys. You just you shake it up, you take I do one full like little thing. So I squeeze it closed, or the bulb. I squeeze it, pull up one full dropper, put it in there, and then I fill it halfway with distilled water. That's all. So it's not complicated. That is a good amount I found, but like I said, you could put more, you could put less, however you want your color to look. So we have these fun sprays. It's like 2 for 1, right? You have your splatter that you can use for watercoloring or for splattering, and then we also now get to have a fun little spray that you can work with. So I'm going to take our piece that we clear embossed. So now you'll see, the reason I did that is because we've sort of created these little wells, right? So when I spray on this paper, even if the paper's kind of like starting to warp or move around and stuff, hopefully the color will stay in those little wells that we've created. And I know you're looking at this and going like, Charlene, how are you possibly going to get perfect little sprays? I'm not, guys. This is kind of a, we'll say an artsy interpretation of a bouquet. So I'm going to start out with my pink, and I always shake it up really well, and then I do like one little test spray off to the side. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to add a little bit of pink there, a little pink there, maybe a little pink up here, okay? And then I'm going to come in with my yellow, shake it up really well. And here, I'm going to kind of come in, oop, make sure you're spraying it the right way. I'll add a little bit of spray there, but it's okay. Like I said, this can be messy. There, kind of like that. Just wherever feels fun. Does not need to be perfect. It can go all over, guys. I'm gonna add, I think, a little bit more pink. Make sure my sprayer is going the right way. Yeah, maybe we'll bring, oh, let's put yellow down. Did I put orange yet? I don't remember. Let's put some orange. Now, remember, yellow and pink make orange, right? So you're going to naturally get a little bit of orange just from that. But I want some areas that are kind of a different tone or different shade of orange. Now, I'm going to, what am I going to do here now? I'm going to kind of lightly move this around a little bit to help that color sort of mix and mingle and get happy. And then I'll bring in my heat tool here. Now you could use your why am I heat gun? If you have a dual setting one, it's really great because you can use the lower setting. But I'm just gonna use my heated tool because that's usually what I use to help dry things. And this will give us a better sense of how things are looking. And it will also minimize any potential kind of color cross-contamination here when I'm gonna go into my greens and blues. So now we're gonna come in with our green. And again, we're gonna shake it up really well. Oh, Pat, you saw my video? Yeah, I just had a video come out today on the Stamp Wheel 2.0. It's really fun. I like it a lot. So there, I'm going to spray just some green right along the bottom and maybe a tiny bit here if I can get it to go just light. We'll see. Nope. There we go. So that's going to color our greenery. So now I'll come in and dry this a little bit. We're going to die cut this out, you guys, and you're going to be shocked by how, like, what a difference die cutting it makes, because it just takes it from kind of like, ooh, what's going on there? And when you die cut it, it gives it this like definition that you didn't have before, right? So it takes it from, oh, that's interesting, to, oh, that's really pretty. I love this leaf here. Look how cool that looks with the yellow and pink. And every time you do this, it's going to be different. And you can, of course, create a whole background with these, right? But I wanted to show you that you can actually color your stamps, which is fun. So I've got my blue here now. I'm going to just kind of doing all over there with the blue. I'm going to work that around. And if you want things to look a little more drippy like on your stamped image, you can come back in, you can add more, you can layer this spray up, you can splatter it onto it, all kinds of cool stuff. And just this, like this kind of stuff is just all about like playing. You just play with it until you get it to a point where you like it. And if you get to a point where you're like, I think I like it, but I'm not sure, you're probably done. Because it is hard to tell when you should stop. All right, we've got our vase. That looks really pretty. I'm gonna bring in some more of this yellow, I think, up here, and kind of brighten up some of that green in there to break it up. And then I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to bring in maybe a little bit more of that orange and just do it right up here. Maybe right here. Just to kind of add a little bit more brightness in there. Break up the colors that we had going on. And again, you can move it around, get that color wherever you want it to go. You could even come in, if you want to just pull a little bit of it off, just grab a tissue or a paper towel, and then you can kind of get, I keep saying kind of a lot, you guys, that must be annoying. You can dab it with your tissue to kind of move that color around a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that. But what I'm also going to do now, right, so we've done all this fun coloring technique and we have all of these neat colors going on, but now we're going to come in and I'm just going to lightly spritz this with some water with my distress sprayer. And I'm just going to kind of spritz this around a little bit, right, because we're working on mixed media paper, which is like a watercolor paper, in that it's meant to sort of help things move around. The liquid doesn't soak into the fibers as quickly. So now that we've spritzed that with water, it's gonna give us almost kind of like a fun distress oxide-ish kind of look, or distress ink look, and you're gonna see it, you already see where it's starting to come. And then remember, this is all shimmery too. Like, you guys can't really see it on camera right now, but when I hold it up, you'll see how shimmery and pretty this all is. So I'm gonna make sure to get this nice and dry now, because I'm gonna die cut this. And I wanna make sure all of that is dry before I do that. And I can flip it over, tap it off to make sure I've got any of that excess done or soaked up. Like, I can see up here the orange is still a little bit wet there. Oh, it looks so good. Whoop, whoop. All right. Look at the shimmer, guys. Can you see it on camera? Doesn't that look cool? So it's so pretty and simple, right? We didn't have to color. We didn't have to paint. We just kind of sprayed where our little hearts were happy. And now we have this cool piece that looks very like, oh, I'm an artist. It's my inner artist, right? Coming out onto the paper. Let me see. Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Definitely. Oh my gosh. It's just so fun. Christine, you didn't know they were shimmery? Oh, yes. They're shimmery. I love shimmer. You guys know I love the bling. All right, let's grab our dies. We'll get the big floral bouquet die here. We're going to cut this out, and look, just even by putting the die there, you can see how cutting it out is really going to really make it kind of stand out and look cool. Let's grab some low tack tape. Try to keep my big noggin out of the way. So hopefully now it makes sense why we did the clear embossing. That just sort of helps those colors to sort of stay, to hang out and be happy and have a chance to absorb in the areas that you've sprayed them. And using the mini sprayer makes it so that you have a lot more control. Now my paper is obviously a little bit warpy. Not a big deal though, because when I run this through my die cutting machine, it's gonna also help to flatten it back down. So let me grab my die cutting machine. Now one thing I don't know is if there are any plans to bring these misters for sale individually. Right now I just know that there's one that's automatically included for free with the purchase of any of the paper splatter watercolors. And it's just for November as far as I know. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. And you can go through my link in the supply list or the description. That would be awesome. Those are affiliate links, so I do get a small commission, which helps cover the cost of doing all this fun stuff. But look at that. Doesn't that look fun? I love how adding the little bit of yellow on top of the green kind of brightened it up in there. This leaf in particular is my favorite, I think. And then doesn't that look cool with you can really see the water splatter here because it has a bigger open space. So cool. I love stuff like this too, because then it's like, let's say I'm not happy with the outcome. It's not a big deal. I didn't spend hours and hours and hours, right, to make it. I just spent a little bit of time, so I can always go back in and make another one until my little heart is happy. So now we're gonna move on here. And what are we gonna do? We are going to grab our Beyond Basics A2 rectangle and cover plate dies. And I'm gonna get the rectangles and I'm gonna grab the second from largest. And I do that just by looking at it, by having them all flat. I can see which one's the second largest. So I've got this, and I'm going to cut out a piece of white cardstock. And I know this is gonna have a little border around it. So I have an A2 size piece of cardstock here. I'll cut it. You can see it's gonna cut some off of there. And that's gonna mean when I put this on a different colored, and I might use black piece of cardstock, I'll have a thin little border for my card, which you guys know I love I love the little borders. Almost all of my cards will have a border on them. There we go. And of course, this creates that nice, slightly beveled edge that you get with a die cut. And because these are a thicker metal, you see they don't get bendy like some of the rectangle dies do. So we've got this. I think I'm going to put this on, let's go with the black. Oop. Let's go with the black piece of cardstock. How about this? Because I feel like that black is going to tie in and help that to pop. Yeah. Ooh, oh my gosh, you guys. Sorry. See, this is what happens when I change my settings. Why did it do that? Hold on. All right, guys, I'm gonna do something here real quick. We're gonna put you just on this camera so I can fiddle around real quick with this setting, because it should have put it on, sorry, should have put it on Do Not Disturb, and I don't know why it didn't do that. Thanks, guys. Sorry. I don't know why I did that. Okay. Let's grab the Friend Stacked word die. And we're going to cut our shadow out of vellum. I love cutting shadows out of vellum because what it does is it just helps to offset, or not offset, that's not the right word. It helps to like set apart your word die from whatever's going on your card. So I'm going to cut out a piece of this is just inexpensive vellum from the craft store. I save my nice vellum for when I'm like heat embossing, or I want it to be a thicker vellum that has a little bit more translucency to it. So we'll cut that from that, and then we're going to cut a piece of black cardstock here for our word die. I think I'll cut 2 of them. Let's do that. That looks good. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Heather. It's always something. It's always something. Either there's a dog barking or my camera's not working. Okay, let's set this aside and grab our die cutting machine. Anybody do anything fun over the weekend? We were gone this weekend. On Friday, we went up to Winthrop, Washington, and it's very cute little town, and it's kind of like the whole, it's just a town. It's not big. I don't know how big the town is, but it's not a big place. But they have, you know, like hiking and trails and all kinds of stuff. It's up in the mountains, very pretty. And their town square, I guess is what you would call it. There's a couple of blocks of their downtown, which is just really a couple blocks, is all Western, like Old West style buildings. It kind of reminded me of an area we went to when we went to Mount Rushmore many, many years ago. But it was very cute, and the kids got a kick out of it. They enjoyed it, and we went, like they have a skating rink there, so we went ice skating, which was really fun. I haven't been ice skating in, gosh, I don't know, a long time. I would say 10, 15 years maybe was the last time I went ice skating. I didn't break anything. I did. Is the good news. They had these little things called bobbies, which I don't remember them having the last time I went ice skating. But they look like these giant, you know, the big plastic rocking horses? It's like that kind of, except for it's a seal. And the tail comes up so that the kids can like hold on to the tail while they're learning how to skate. And then if they get tired, they can sit like on the seal so that you can push them and skate them around. So that was really fun. My youngest, he would alternate between skating and then getting pushed around. And I kept joking that I needed my own Bobby, because when I wasn't pushing him around, I was very close to the edge of the rink the whole time because I was scared I was going to fall. There were a few close calls. I did not fall, but there were a couple close calls where almost went down. But even my angsty 14-year-old had fun, even though he was like, "Why'd you bring us here? It's so boring." He got over it, and he had a good time. And of course, we went out for ice cream, and we weren't there very long. We drove up there on Friday, and then drove back Sunday. So it's just a quick little trip, but beautiful. So the Cascades are the mountain range that go through Washington. And on the east side of the range, the climate there and the topography is very, very similar to what I'm used to, which is the western slope in Colorado, where I grew up and went. So anytime we go up in the mountains over there, it very much makes me feel like I'm back in Colorado, which is interesting. Okay, precision glue press, right? Just gonna bring some glue in here if I can get it started. So Vicky, what I was gonna say when you were asking me earlier about the precision glue press is, if you're not gonna use it for a little while, like, you know, I don't know, say you just went on a trip to Winthrop, Washington for several days and haven't done any crafting, in that scenario, it might be a good idea to go ahead and just cap it while you're gone. I don't know. That would have been the smart thing to do, but not the end of the world. It'll start once I just get some of that clog out of there. Come on. The question is whether or not I want to have you guys wait while I get the clog out. Oh, I hear it. There it goes. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to put some glue on the back here. You see I cut out 2 of the word die. If I had all the time in the world, I'd probably cut out 3 and layer them. But that's because I really, really like dimension on my cards. And I feel like it gives it just a little bit more oomph. Makes it just look a little bit nicer. So I added the glue back on there. I'm gonna lay this over our first one. and then just kind of pinch around to make sure it's nice and lined up before I flatten it on there. Now you could choose, usually what I recommend when you are putting a border on your card is to somehow try and incorporate whatever that border color is into your card. So like if it was a blue border, I might use like a dark blue cardstock for my word die, or I might stamp something somewhere that's in a dark blue. And it helps the card to sort of feel like it's all meant to be together, more cohesive, right? So in this case, because I did our border with black cardstock, I chose to do the word die sentiment in black cardstock. So now I can add ink to the back of this. Ink, glue, Charlene. This is not ink. What else did I call ink? That wasn't ink. Something else in this live too. All right. And so this glue I'm using is Connect glue, and it works really well in the smaller nozzle of the glue press because it's more viscous. For my thicker glues, I use the larger nozzle. And we will take our vellum shadow here, line up our word die so that it's centered, and then go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to grab a acrylic block here. There we go. And take a coffee break. How is everyone? Vicky, you got the card? Yay. Heather, you went to Disney with your bestie? I'm jealous. I love Disney. It is my happy place. I know people are always like, ooh, Disney adults, like you're so weird. I'm like, no, I'm not weird. I am just like the warm fuzzy feeling I get when I go to Disney is the same warm fuzzy feeling I get when I am crafting. So hopefully that explains it for anybody who's like Disney. But we try to go at least once a year. Don't always get to. It's an expensive trip to take for sure. But we try to go down. All right, I've got my tittle and layered it up. And for those of you that do not like dealing with small finicky pieces, obviously you don't have to layer it up. Like it's fine. It's fine as a single layer. Ooh, that was loud, sorry. But you know, that's me. I'm gonna add my glue right here. Just dot it on the vellum. And then add, well, first I'm gonna flip over the little bugger and then add it right over the eye. There we go. Yay! Isn't that pretty? I think it's such a pretty word die. I love things with shadows like that. So now when we put it on there, even though it's going on white, where the areas where it goes over are floral, it's gonna help to separate the sentiment from our bouquet. And where are we at on time? I kind of was thinking we're at 10:48 my time. So that means we have 12 minutes because I kind of thought it would be fun to maybe come in with the polka dot Flora stencil and do like a gray stamping of this on the white, just to kind of break up that white background a little bit. This is a fun little stencil. What do you guys think? Yes, polka dot Flora, or no polka dot Flora? I'll give you a second. I don't know. I could go either way. I also have these Thunderstorm, the Thunderstorm gem mix, which is like these gray and black and silvery gems. So we could just put some of those on the card. Yes, Heather? I see yes. Okay. The weather was perfect while you were there too. Oh, you live in San Diego. Okay. My friend Yvette lives in San Diego. I'm always very jealous of her perfect weather. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna stamp it in just a very light gray, you guys. This is not gonna be, it's not gonna be overwhelming. Let's grab, what do we want to grab here? Let's grab some Silver Lining Alt New ink. And I'm going to grab my smaller stamp wheel. Running out of room here, guys. I've gotten kind of wild. My space is getting smaller and smaller as we go. Okay. Let's rub our stamp. Arlette, I might add some gems too. Never fear. You know I love bling. So we're going to lay this over. Get it centered. I think that's centered. Well, we're gonna say it is. We're going to pick it up. Here we go. And we'll get some Silver Lining on here. This is gonna be very light. So when you're working with gray ink, like a light gray ink like this, the nice thing about it is you can stamp it multiple times, right? So depending on how dark you want the pattern to be on your background, you can just stamp it multiple times and it'll get darker. So let's make sure we get some good pressure here because this is a large stamp. Make sure we hit all the spots. Ooh, that's good. It's actually darker than I thought it was going to be. It'll dry back some though. There's this one little spot here I did not want to take. Okay, I think we look pretty good. So I am not going to stamp it multiple times. Bling is the thing. Yes. Arlette, we need t-shirts. Bling it up. I almost always put some kind of sparkle or shine onto my cards. Because, you know, there's just not enough sparkly things in this world. My friend and her family went with us on the trip. And I just recently bought a new phone case and iPod cover. And it's like a unicorn threw up, you guys. I don't know how else to describe it. It is like purple and pink and blue and glittery. And it's like see-through, but it's the colors and glittery. And then the phone case and the iPod cover match. I think that adds a nice little bit of texture to our background. And this will dry back. Like I said, it's not going to be quite so dark as it dries. But she's very like understated elegance, right? You know, she has a very classic style. Like her phone has a, you know, like a rose gold phone, and it's got a very nice case, and it's very pretty and elegant looking. And she's like, "What do you have on your phone?" I was like, "It makes me happy. Leave me alone." She's funny. We go shopping together and we have such varied tastes, but we're really good at picking things out for each other. She's like, "This looks like a rainbow dyed. Here you go. You might like this." Gotta have those friends, right? Gotta have the friends that even though they don't have the same style as you, that they are still want you to be happy in your style. I think that's so important, rather than trying to mold everyone to be the style you want them to be. Let people have their fun. And rainbows and bright colors and glitter and all that good stuff, they make me happy. Makes me smile. Ooh. I'm going to put some low loft foam tape on the back here to help pop this up. But I don't want it to be too high up, because one of you lovely people in the comments is going to win this card. So if you are lurking and a first-time watcher and you want to potentially receive this card in the mail from me, definitely leave a comment, say hello, let us know where you're from. And at the end of this live, I will pick someone from the comments to send my card off to. It is open internationally for my people that are watching from afar. So I can't guarantee any kind of time frame that you'll receive that in. Poor Paya in Sweden had won a card, and it felt like forever to get there. But it did get there eventually, and in one piece, no less. So definitely know that you can participate as well. Okay. What are we doing here? We're doing this. Is it going to fit? Is it going to fit? How do we do? Can I see it? Oh, I can see a little bit from the front. Let's trim it. Boom. All right, we've got that we can pop up. And then for our sentiment here, it makes it a little bit more tricky, but we will be okay. We're going to, some people would never do this, but I've gotten pretty fast at it. I'm going to cut tiny little strips, and I can also add some more reinforcement after the fact. But I'll just bring these little strips around here and there, back behind where our word is. I'm going to make it even thinner, so that way it won't show from the front. And actually I don't want it on the F, because that is where we're going to have overlap on the other part, right? We'll bring this in, put it along the D for sure. And I'm not worried about this like getting smushed really, because even if it does get a little bit smushed, because the vellum is a little bit more resilient, I feel like, than the paper, it should just pop right back up and not have any problems if it gets smushed a little bit. What'd you say, Pat? The mail has gotten some better. It was kind of bad for a while this summer for the shirts. Yes. Yeah, it was. I kept thinking, well, I had told Paya, I was like, if it doesn't get to you soon, I'm going to resend you a card. Because I wanted her to get it. I like sending out my cards. It's fun for me. And some people like to hang on to their cards. But I just like brings me a lot of joy to know that somebody is happy to receive my cards. You know, that's exciting for me. Okay, I think we're just about done here. I'm gonna put a little bit maybe on this end here. And I can kind of curve it too a little bit as I'm putting it down. And then we definitely want to have just a little bit under that eye. This is just a teeny baby piece. And I know some of you are going, oh my gosh, no way, Charlene. Well, you could skip this part, right? You don't have to do all that. You don't have to pop things up like me. We all have our own little things we like, right? Let's move this, and this. And, oh, I think that's gonna look pretty good right there. All right, let's put our floral down. Our cool floral. Now, like I said, you could use the sprays the same way you would use any other kind of colored ink spray. You can create backgrounds, you can color stamped images, you can do, like I know, like we've done ink smushing before, right? On the lives, we did one with ink smushing and we used the paper splatter for that. Instead of having to spritz water, you can just spray out directly the spray if you create that. I'm gonna stand up, guys, so I can see a little better. Try and get this on there somewhat straight. I think that's good. Yeah. And this is overhanging a little bit on the side, so I might clip that off, or I might put this in a slightly larger envelope to mail. Take all of this off. Let go. And then what I'll do is on the areas where it's gonna, over here on the F and the E, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some liquid glue back behind those letters. And so then you won't see the glue from the front, but anywhere that it does hit on the vase, it will adhere to it. Anywhere it doesn't hit, it'll just dry. And it's not a big deal. No one's gonna see back behind here, right? Unless they take apart the card, I suppose. And then they could see. All right, I'm gonna grab this with my tweezers. There we go. And I'm gonna stand up again so I can try and make sure to get this on here straight. It's just easier if I can see. I think probably something like this. Like so. What do we think? Oh, that looks nice. Here we go. Yay. And it's 11:03. Look at that. We did a good job. Lots of fun stuff going on with this card, and you got to hear me jabber about a bunch of things. Hopefully it was a good start to your Tuesday. Let's move this. And what I'm gonna do is I am gonna come back in after the fact, and I'm gonna add some of these gems. And these, you can buy the gems in either you can buy them where they come in like a compact like this, or in a baggie. So it's kind of a nice option, especially if you're wanting to like refill and you don't, you're trying to keep down on the waste. Excuse me, you can buy a baggie. Or if you already have your own storage system at home, for your gems, then you can purchase it in the baggie. I love the little compacts. They make me happy. So you can see, got some blacks and some grays and some kind of like silvery in here, but I'd probably just maybe add some bling here to the centers of some of these the polka dot floral. I could mess around with this afterwards, but I just wanted to give you guys a little idea kind of how they look. So adding a little bit of bling on there. And I'll just add this to an A2 size card base. But there's our finished card. Yay! All right, guys, who's ready? Who's ready? Here we go. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna scroll up and down through the comments, and I'm gonna pick somebody from the comments. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh my gosh! Megan and Marco! Woo! Yay! All right, if you would like this lovely card, send me an email at, where's my email button? There it is, contact@dreamcraftcreate.com, saying, yes, I would like your card, and send me your address, and I will mail it off to you in the next couple days. I hope you guys had fun. I had fun. I love seeing you guys on Tuesdays. I was sad that I wasn't here last Tuesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you for hanging out with me. I plan to be here next Tuesday at 12 o'clock Central. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any notifications about upcoming lives. And yeah, thanks guys. Bye.